Okay, we are back with number 2, and for number 2 I'm actually going to do or write the answers on the question paper itself, because it doesn't require us to have a lot of space and do all kinds of calculations. So I'm going to write the answers on the question paper here. So they're asking us, or they're telling us to consider the following algebraic expression. That algebraic expression is this one over here, and they are asking 2.1.1, how many terms are in the above expression. So this expression that they gave us, I'll just rewrite it over here. It is 2 times a plus 5. Now what we know about algebraic expressions is that terms are separated by plus and minus. So if I look at 2 times a, this is not separated by a plus or minus. So 2 times a is actually just 2a. So there's one plus here, so that plus separates 2 times a from 5. In other words, we've got then one term here and the second term there. So how many terms are in the above expression? There is only 2. Next question is, write down the variable in the above expression. So again, I'll just go back to the one that we've written down here. The variable, of course, if I look at term number 1, there is of course a variable here, and that variable is a. Term number 2 has no variable, so the only variable in this expression is a. The variable is not 2a, that is the term 2a, or 2 times a. The variable itself is the letter. So if I'm answering this question, the variable in the expression will be a. That's the answer. Some of you in your test wrote 2a, and some of you wrote all kinds of numbers. Remember, numbers are not variables. Variables are letters that stand for a number. Okay, they are the unknowns. 2.1.3, write down the constant. Now, the constant, or a constant term in an expression, is the term that basically has no variables attached to it. So if you look at this term over here, this term obviously has a variable attached to it. It is not a constant because it can change according to this guy over here. So the second term of 5 is just a constant term of 5. There's no variables or letters attached to it. So this 5, or positive 5, is a constant. This term is not constant, so the constant term is 5. 2.2, write down the coefficients of the following algebraic expressions. So coefficients are the numbers that are attached to variables. So for the first one, I've got 2a. So in 2a, a will be the variable because it is the unknown part of that term. The number that is attached to it is called the coefficient. So if I wanted to know what is the coefficient of 2a, then the coefficient is not 2a again, because coefficients do not include the letter or the variable. So the coefficient there is just 2. Then with number 2.2.2, the coefficient here again would be the number that's attached to the variable, or variables in this case. So here we got xy. Okay, so the variables there are 2 of them. They are all attached because this is just one term. So the number that's attached to the variables again here is -3, and not just 3. Remember, the negative belongs to the number there. So my coefficient is -3 and not 3. Many of you wrote just 3. You need to include the sign. So then for the last one, 2.2.3, the coefficient over here. Now you need to think back to your rules for algebraic language. When we are busy dealing with algebraic expressions, equations, and so forth, the number 1 does not get written. Remember, if I have 1x, I simply just write x. I don't write the 1. If I've got x to the power of 1, I simply write x. I do not write the 1. In certain cases, we write the 1. We include it just for emphasis, but normally you would just not do it. It's not part of the convention. We don't write the 1. So when I look at negative b to the power of 2, my coefficient there is not just 1, because that is the coefficient. What's written in front of the b is actually a 1, but because it's a negative sign, my coefficient is in fact negative 1. Okay, because that is actually negative 1b to the power 2, but we do not include the 1. So, but we can't take away the negative sign as well, because we need to keep it there, because otherwise you would not know that it's negative. So that is why we end up with negative b squared, or to the power of 2, and our coefficient is negative 1.